great to have you here today. My name is Lauren Fox, and today we're going to do a 60-minute yoga flow that's focused on the idea of balance and creating balance in our bodies. So I want to get right on into it today. So when you're ready, come onto your back. We're going to start in Shavasana. And as you're laying on your back, eyes closed if that feels comfortable to you, I want you just to really feel heavy in all of your joints, your legs and your arms, your shoulders, allowing them to sink into your mat, finding a sense of ease and comfort. And you'll begin to deepen your breath. So today's yoga practice, we want to start off thinking about just the word yoga and what it means. And in Sanskrit, it means to yoke or to bring together. And what is it that we're bringing together when we do yoga? Well, it's our breath and our body, our movement and moments of stillness. It's strength and stretch, holding on and letting go. And it's bringing together the mind and the body. And all of this is just in an effort to bring harmony or balance to our inner selves. So today's movement is inspired by that desire to discover an internal physical balance. Because when we do this, our hope is that when we step off the mat, we can bring that same level of balance to our external lives. That we can practice the things that we do on the mat and apply them to our real lives. Take a few more breaths here in Shavasana. When you're ready, begin to straighten the arms out long overhead, creating as much length as you can between your fingers and your toes. Maybe even walking those heels out a little bit. And even right now, as you're in this really long posture, you might notice in your body that one side feels more at ease than the other. You may already notice that there's a little bit of imbalance in your body, and that's super normal because, just living our day-to-day lives, we tend to prefer one side of our body over the other. It gets a little bit more movement, it stretches a little bit more, it feels a little bit stronger. So today's practice is just about evening that out. Let's grab the left wrist, and you're going to walk your feet over to the right corner of the mat. You can stack your left ankle on top of the right, and then walk your arms, the wrists that you already have clasped, reach them over to the top right corner of your mat. So you're creating this kind of crescent shape. Sometimes it's called a banana pose. Trying to lengthen out the left side of the body. Walk your legs back to center, straighten yourself out. And then we'll walk the feet over to the left corner of the mat. Right heel will stack on top of left ankle. And you walk those arms, this time grabbing the right wrist, reaching up to the left top corner of your mat. We'll begin to straighten out. Arms long, heels pulling to the front of the mat. And then on one big exhale, bring both knees to chest. Give yourself a hug. Descend the tailbone. And we'll just start by taking some easy rocks back and forth, building up some momentum. No rush. Maybe 2 more. And on your last one, come all the way through, plant the hands, step the knees back, and we'll find a tabletop. Stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and we'll do a couple cat-cows just to get things moving. Dropping the belly, taking the gaze forward and up. Big inhale. Exhale, round the spine, push the mat away. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale, up to your cow pose. And exhale, round the spine. From here, come back to your neutral spine. And we're gonna go side to side this time. So you'll kind of look over your right shoulder and kind of squeeze your right hip over to your right ear as if you were crunching. In fact, that's exactly what you're doing. And then come back to center. Good. Inhale, over to the left. Exhale, back to center. Again. Inhale, over to the right. Try and push that mat away so you're not dipping in the shoulders. Back to center. Inhale, left. And exhale, back to center. One more time each side. Inhale to the right. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. And exhale, back to center. From here, tuck those toes, lift the hips. We'll find our first downward facing dog. Spread out between each finger, trying to press the mat away, lengthen the spine. Making this more about the back and less about the back of the leg. So even if that means putting a bend in your knees so that you can really extend the tailbone away and nice and long, then do it. You can pedal out your dog if you like. And then slowly roll on forward to your plank. You might have to walk those heels back. Try to get that booty down. I know, I see you. And then from here you can drop to your knees or come forward and come make it all the way to your belly. Untuck the toes. From here we're going to do a cobra, so squeezing those elbows in. I want the movement to start from your mid to upper back. So using the strength of your back, slowly begin to lift the chest. Maybe once you have come as high as you can, you press into the mat a little bit further. Straightening the arms, not all the way, but just a little bit. Really feeling this in the upper and middle back as opposed to the lower back, which is where we typically feel cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, release. From here, we'll just push on back, find a momentary child's pose, more as a reminder that this is our resting posture for today and in all yoga classes. So if you ever need to take a break, find your breath, just kind of like remove yourself from the flow of the practice. This is a great posture to come back to. It's always here for you. Engage through all 10 fingers, lift the hips, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, look to the top of your mat, and then exhale, walk or step there to the forward fold. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, press the hands into the shins, lengthen the spine. Extending tailbone back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms out long to the side, lifting up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. And heel toe those feet together. We're gonna go right on into our sun salutations with just one slight little change to the flow, so let's get started. Inhale, lift the arms up long overhead. Exhale, grab the left wrist and stretch over to the right on your exhale. Inhale, lift up to center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back, crown of the head comes forward. Exhale, release the chest. Bend the knees, plant the hands. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, either drop the knees or just come straight on down to your belly. It's really keeping those elbows tucked and pinned to the side. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra. Again, leading with the chest, allowing there to be space. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips. And exhale, press on back to your downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk or step up to the front. If you always use one leg to step up to the front, try and switch it up each time. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, allow yourself to bend. Inhale, reverse the swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands come back to center. Inhale, rise the arms up long and tall, lifting. Exhale, grab the left wrist, pull over to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, grab right wrist. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, swan dive. Ride the breath all the way down to your forward fold. Inhale, press the mat, the shins away. Exhale, release. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. This time, option to straighten the arms out completely and maybe lift the kneecaps off the mat. Exhale, press on back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. You're shaking your head yes and no, moving any tension. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, walk or step. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, melt the heart. Inhale, swan dive back up to the top. Exhale, hands at heart center. One more time, one more sun salutation. Inhale, sweep all that energy, lifting from both sides of the hip. Exhale, reach over to the right. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale. And exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, crown of the head comes forward, tailbone presses back. Exhale, release. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, lift the hips. Press on back. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, jump, walk, step there. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Very nice. Let's keep going. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, back to chair. So toes can be together, or front toes, big toes together, heels about 1 inch or so apart. We're here in chair, rocking it out, trying to lengthen the tailbone down and away. Keep the chest and chin lifted so that the spine is neutral. And then from here, I want you to curl your fingers into fists. And we're going to kind of bring a little C curve, a little dancey motion to this. So bend the elbows, and then you're going to push both fists over to the right as you bring the right hip out. Little C curve. Back to center. And left, and center, right, center. And if this doesn't feel good on your back, then just stay neutral, right? Be like the physical mullet. Party inside, and then business outside. But if you're doing this, going back and forth, you bring a little bounce to it, right? Like, who knew that chair pose could be so much fun? Woo! One more on the left, and then back to center. Nice and strong chair pose. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lengthen the spine, keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. And press on back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, plant the back heel. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1. Take a moment here. Really try and ground through all 4 corners of both feet so your weight is evenly distributed. Relax the shoulders if they're creeping up towards your ears. And exhale, plant both hands either side of the front foot, lift the back heel, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. This vinyasa flow is always optional. If you prefer just to push on back to a downward facing dog, all good. You can even hit a child's pose if you prefer. Do what feels good. We'll all meet here in downward facing dog in 3 breaths. Inhale the left foot up and back. Exhale, step it through. Plant the back heel. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1. Allow yourself to guide that left hip back, right hip is pushing forward. Nice steady gaze. Exhale, release the hands to the mat, lift the back heel. And then your choice, downward facing dog or move through your vinyasa. Three breaths. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, step it through. Plant the back leg. Inhale, warrior 1. And then exhale, open up to warrior 2. And we'll take a few breaths here in warrior 2. So focus that time on making sure that you like your alignment. Right toes are going straight out to the top of the mat. Right knee is tracking directly over the right ankle or maybe slightly behind. And if you find yourself, you got this little booty kind of sticking out, try and tuck the left hip in to really focus the sensation on this inner groin and the psoas muscles here. From here, we're going to take an extended side angle. So right elbow is going to come either down to the right knee, or hand can come to the inside of the foot or a block. Jason, my husband, he was appalled that I was using Tupperware, so he very kindly made me some nice wooden cedar yoga blocks. Because we want to create length, we're going to take that top left arm and extend it over the top ear. So it really is almost the stretch that we're getting from our pinky all the way down to our pinky toe. Pinky to pinky. Lifting out of that left hip. Inhale, rise back, warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior, making sure it's a side stretch as opposed to a back bend. So lifting over to the side, almost crunching to get length along the right hip. Let those right fingertips be nice and long. And then on a big exhale, cartwheel the hands. We'll come back through our lunge, and then your choice to either step back to downward dog or flow. We'll move right on into the other side. Inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, step it through, plant the back heel. Rise up, warrior one, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. And again, if that right hip is sticking out, try and pull it under. I'm totally guilty of that. It's a new thing I'm trying to work on. And then begin to stretch forward, drop left elbow to left knee or hand to block or mat. Extend the right arm long overhead, finding your extended side angle. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Lift the left arm overhead. Commit to making it a side bend as opposed to a back bend. Still trying to keep a bend in the front knee. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, cartwheel through, downward dog or flow. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step it through. Plant the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. This time, instead of going into side angle, we're going to transition into our triangle. So we'll straighten the front leg, tilt forward, and we can go no further. Right fingertips will come down, either to the shin, inside of the calf, maybe a block, and we'll lift the top arm overhead. And this is a great one for lengthening out the attachments between our low back and our booties. Gaze can be directly forward or up to the fingertips. In fact, let's take that left arm overhead. Just get a little extra stretch. Inhale, back up. Bend into the right knee, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back up to warrior two. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands, Vinyasa flow, or downward dog. Inhale the left foot up and back. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Begin to straighten the left leg. Tilt pelvis and arms forward. When you go no further, pull yourself over. Left fingertips come in contact with other block or mat. Try and tuck that right hip underneath. Right arm can come overhead. Inhale, rise back up. Warrior two, bending into the left knee. On an exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands. Yogi's choice. Adding on once again. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, step the right leg through. Plant the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right kneecap. Tilt forward and fall into your pyramid, triangle. From here, even if you're not using a block, you might want to grab one. So I'm going to take mine and bring it to the inside of my leg. So I'm here in triangle, and then I'm going to transition into my half moon. So I'll begin to bend into my right knee, look about 2 feet in front of my right toes, headed where I want to go. And I'm going to push off and walk my block forward. From here, my left heel is going to kick out. I'm going to lift it in the direction of about hip height. No real importance if it actually gets there, but that's just the general direction. Kicking through the heel. And then to make this again more about the length of the side body, I will pull the left arm long overhead. Again, for balance, I can look down at the ground. That will give me the most stability. I can look to the side, or I can look up underneath my left armpit, and that will be the most challenging. Put a bend back into the right kneecap. Slowly, slowly, slowly float the left foot back down. Inhale, up to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. And exhale, Vinyasa flow or downward dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Transition into triangle. So begin to straighten out the left kneecap. Extend yourself forward. Allow the left fingertips to come to the inside of your calf, maybe on your calf. Extend the right arm up overhead. And then same thing, moving into our half moon. Begin to gently bend into the left knee. My block is already out there, so I might just reach for it. Kick through the back right heel. Crown of the head is coming forward. Extend the right arm long overhead. You know, try not to lock out that left knee. Maybe you keep a gentle bend in it. A few more breaths. Nice. And then begin to bend in that left knee. Float the right foot back. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back up to warrior two. And exhale, Vinyasa flow or downward dog. Good, 3 breaths. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk, step, jump, whatever you need to do to get to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up long to the side. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment. Just notice subtle differences in your body from when we started this practice. Great. From here, we're going to take the left foot and we'll step out to the side. So we're coming into like a wide-legged position. Toes will be slightly pigeon-toed in, heels kick out. And then hands will place on our hips. Nice tall spines, lifting through the crown of the head. Exhale, flat back over, trying to hinge at the hips. And then you can bring your hands down to the mat. And then try and relax back of the head. From here, we're going to Skandasana over to the left side. So inhale, flat back. And then exhale, bend over to the left. We'll just take a moment here. We'll slowly shift over to the right. Over to the left. And then back over to the right. From here, lift the back heel and rotate the hips so you're coming back to your lunge. Right? This is where it gets a little bit tricky, but it feels so good. So you're going to keep turning the hips so that you come up on the outside of your left foot, left edge of your foot. And you're going to turn almost like your left hip down to the mat. Your right toes can come out. And you're just going to extend the right hand behind you as if you were shaking hands. I love this pose. It feels awfully dramatic, like me. Try and reach all the way back, opening up through the hips. Try and push the mat away. Lift the hips up, right? So now you're really engaged through the core, and you're going to step that right foot back to meet the left. Vashisthasana, side plank. I know, from that really sweet stretch to this. Oi. Try and lift through the hips, so now the hip is not sinking towards the mat. It's trying to push itself away. Extend the right arm long overhead. Inhale, lift the right arm back up. And you can take that right foot, maybe you bring it into tree, pushing the mat away. And then we'll bring the right hand down to the mat, turn the hips, Step the right foot back. You can either do a one-legged chaturanga or bring both feet down to the mat, your choice. We'll flow right on through. And press back. And 3 breaths here in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift to the top of the mat. Exhale, jump or step there. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Right leg steps out. Toes in, heels out, hands on hips. Inhale, nice long tall bodies. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat. Maybe you try a different variation with the hand. You could bring your yogi peace fingers around the big toes. Try and draw the head further down. You can interlace the fingers and lift the palms overhead, opening the shoulder blades. Release the palms overhead if you have them there. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release over to the right, Skandasana. Inhale, over to the left. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the left. And then exhale, turn the hips, find your lunge for a moment. And we'll continue twisting. So edge of the right foot is going to come down to the mat. Hips are going to open up. Just reach back. Begin to lift up. So you're engaging the foot with the mat. Hips are pressing away. From here, you're going to use your core strength to take your left foot back to meet the right. Inhale the left arm up overhead. And then exhale it long. Inhale, back up. And your choice may be coming into a tree pose, so walking the left foot up. Few breaths here. You got this. Push the mat away. Trying to lift the hips away from the mat. Left hand comes down. Square off the hips. Either a one-legged chaturanga or just step back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And then in your next exhale, let's find a child's pose, wide-legged, toes untuck, press the hips back. Nice work. Walk the hands over to the right. Maybe left hand or left palm comes on top of the right. Side stretch. Walk the hands back through center. Make your way over to the left. This time left hand is going out. Right palm is trying to stack on top of left. And slowly come back to center. Hands come in, chest lifts, and we will make our way down to our butts, however we like. I'm gonna turn and face you guys. And let's start off with our legs out long in staff pose. So sitting up really tall through the sits bones. And if you like, right, you can remove those spiced meats. It helps you kind of ground down a little bit further to feel balanced and even between each hip. Inhale, nice and tall. Even, if you like, you can put your fingertips on the mat. Try and push it away. Get that extra length. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale, reaching as long as you can. Maybe the hands come to the sides of your calf. Maybe they reach for your feet. Whatever feels good, wherever you're able to capture is all good. Gently push yourself back up. And we're going to take left hand, reach for the inside of the left knee and pull it back so that the left sole of the foot comes to the inner thigh of the right leg. Inhale, arms come up. And there's a slight twist over the right leg so that as we come down and forward, our left hand is trying to reach for the outside of our right foot. Again, if you can't get that far, then maybe you reach for the outside of the right calf or shin. That's good. Wherever you're going is going to be great. So just listen to your body and what feels right. Slowly come back up. And we'll move to the other side. So extend the left leg out long. Right hand reaches for the inside of the right knee. Pull the hip back. So that foot can come to the inside of the left leg. Inhale, nice and tall. Micro twist, just enough that you're reaching over the left leg. Right hand is trying to go for the edge of the left foot. Try and relax those hips back. Soften those attachments. And slowly come up. Both legs are going to come out. And then, let's move that. We will open the legs out, not as wide as you possibly can, but just to the point where you have kind of like a right angle or a 90-degree angle. From here, we're going to, let's start with the left again. So we'll bend the left leg and bring the left sole of the foot against the right thigh. And we're going to take our right hand as if it was a platter. We're going to bring our elbow down. If it doesn't go all the way there, all right, put my block away, I need it again. You can just take the elbow and place it on a block. And your block has 3 sizes. So this is lowest, medium, highest, whatever you need, you can do this. But if your elbow is able to make it down to the mat, try and plant the hand and just walk those fingertips out, trying to reach for, this time, the inner right side of the foot. Left arm is going to come up. It's going to reach over the ear, and it might be able to grab the foot. In that case, you want to try and open and twist so you're looking out from underneath your armpit, but it might not. And if it doesn't, all good. Just keep the arm lengthening out, trying to open up through the side body. Inhale, back up to the top. And switch. So both legs go out straight. Try and find that really tall back to begin. Bend the right leg, bring the inner right foot to the inner left thigh. And then once again, we've got our little left platter. Elbow can come down to the inside of the knee or to a block. And just reach those fingertips out long. And then right arm will come up overhead. Maybe it'll reach for the feet, but maybe it won't. It's better just to have a stretch that you can relax in as opposed to one that you're gripping and you're like, oh, I'm as far as I can go, but I have to make this terrible face to do it. Inhale, back up to center. And exhale, straighten out both legs. Very nice. This time, you're gonna lean over to the right and you're gonna bend your right knee. Now for this one, you're going into kind of like a half hero, so your ankle, your left ankle will be just outside your left hip. If this bothers your knee at all, you can grab a blanket or maybe a pillow and just bring the corner of it underneath. You're just kind of like sitting on a corner, and that will raise your hips enough to take off some of the strain on your knee. So, whatever you need, you do you. And we're basically going to do very similar to what we just did. So we'll find that tall body, and then the right elbow is going to come again to the inside of the right knee, reaching out for the right foot, and then left arm will reach overhead. Once again, maybe it grabs for the foot. This is clearly my more flexible side, a little bit more open. Probably gonna have to lift up the left hip just a little bit more, just to create enough space for the stretch. And release. Extend both legs out, lean over to the right to kind of release that left leg. And then you'll lean over to the left, bend the right knee, tuck that ankle to the outside of the right hip. Sit up tall. Left knee elbow will come to the inside of the left knee. Reach on out, try and grab that left foot. Right hand comes up and over. Soften, soften, soften. Try and remove anywhere there's tension. Noticing where your body is working, and then see if you can tell it to work a little bit less. Lift back up. And then we'll straighten out both legs. This time, I feel like you can kind of widen your stance, walking the pelvis a little bit more forward. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to lengthen the arms out to the side. And the purpose here is we're just going to start by taking a couple breaths and feeling that rib cage expanding out before it contracts. All this length, all this possibility. And then slowly, like you're a mummy or a zombie, you're going to bring those hands out in front of you. Tilt the pelvis forward slightly, and then come and bring the hands down to the floor or a block. You're just tilting forward. It probably might not even be as far as you can go. but that's okay. We're just trying to be soft here, trying to find space subtly. Create length and balance in each hip. And sometimes the best way to do that is to ease into the sensation as opposed to going to the furthest point. And walk those hands back in. Nice. And then we'll bring both legs together. Extend them out the length of your mat. Nice tall back. Again, I'm going to remove those spicy meats. Extend arms up overhead. And we'll take one last staff pose, just taking note of like what feels different in the body from, 10 minutes ago we did a staff pose. How does it feel now as opposed to how it felt then? Slowly rise on up. I'm going to bring the fingertips just to the back of the ears. And then slowly, 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 we're just going to lean back, contract. So you're coming into a C curve. And one vertebrae at a time. It's going to come down to the mat. Head will be the very last thing. Nice. Let's bring the knees to chest and we'll take a happy baby. So reach for the inside or outside of the feet. Trying to stack ankles over knees and drawing the knees into our armpits, all the while lengthening out our tailbone, trying to keep all corners of the back on the mat as best we can. Yeah, you can, swing back and forth a little bit if your baby is extra happy. Keep the right knee to chest and extend the left leg long. You can just bend that right knee. Maybe move it back and forth a little bit. And then we're gonna shift our hips over to the right and draw the right knee across the body. As you do so, extend the right arm long out to a T. Allow the right knee to cross your body, and maybe you take your left hand and just place it on the kneecap to help create some traction. And gaze can go up to the ceiling or maybe over to your fingertips, your right fingertips, to deepen the twist in the lower back. Slowly come back to center. Right knee in. And then extend it long. Other side, bring the left knee into chest. Shift the hips over to the left. Left hand goes out long to a T. And then the left knee comes across the body. Gaze will either go up over to the left fingertips. Come back to center. And then extend both legs out long on your mat. Coming to Shavasana. Just as we started, arms and legs heavy. feel free to rest here in Shavasana. I will awake you from it in about 4 to 5 minutes. So take that time right now just for yourself. As you begin to come back into your space, wiggle fingers and toes. Deepen breath. Extend the arms out long overhead one last time. Stretching fingertip to toe tip. And when you're ready, curling over to a fetal position on your side. Using the strength of your top arm, push yourself up to that comfortable seated position. Hands come to heart center. Bring the hands up to thumb knuckles, up to forehead center. Namaste. The light in me bows to the light in you.